approaching the character of Elizabeth, the first thing that I wanted to do was to kind of look at source material and figure out a little bit of her background. And so clearly, I didn't read all of Frankenstein, I'll admit that, but I searched on my Kindle for the word Elizabeth, and looked when she popped up. There's a actor pro tip for you. And then I looked at SparkNotes and stuff, and I found out about how the Frankensteins were traveling in Italy, and they kind of saw her with this poor family and kind of picked her up and brought her into the family. And so, I mean, I feel like that was very important in the developing of her character. I mean, I always wanted to keep in mind where she came from, because I feel like knowing that she came from this poor family, it would kind of be like a there but for the grace of God go I kind of thing with Justine, because she came from where Justine came from. So I feel like in their interaction, she wouldn't have been, you know, quite as haughty as some of the other upper class people would have been. So I feel like that was really important when approaching the character, to figure out exactly where she was coming from. I mean, honestly, Elizabeth is one of the only female leads in the show, but you don't really need a lot because she serves so many different purposes. So, I mean, you have the way that she relates to Alphonse is both motherly and almost in a creepy way, like a wifey kind of role. You know, she's looking around trying to find his glasses and entertaining guests and things like that. And Wilhelmina being the mother there and, you know, serving that kind of nurse function. And then also you have her serving kind of a royalty heiress function with Frau Mueller and Herr Mueller. And then, of course, also the love interest angle with Victor, and she's kind of the driving force behind some of his craziness, trying to tamper that down. So, I mean, in an average show, you would have different characters playing each of those, but Elizabeth serves all of those roles. She's a very bright character, even though it would be very easy for her to get swallowed by all of the men in the show. But because she's so important to all of the different lives of the other characters, then, you know, she doesn't. I feel like the biggest challenge at this point in the rehearsal process, I don't know if it will be as much of a challenge in the actual show, is maintaining really serious, and trying to be sad and scared when I'm up there with some of my really good friends, and we're having fun and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I've never done like a real drama before, and so that's been one thing that's kind of surprised me. I figured, you know, once you're in the story, maybe once we're on stage and we're doing it in a big block and you're staying in it, it'll be easier. But in the rehearsal, it's definitely been really difficult to maintain character in a way that I've never had so much before in other shows. Frankenstein is an important piece of literature, but it's also very long and hard to read. So you should come see our show instead, because it's one of those things like you just need to know it. You don't always necessarily read it in high school, but you're supposed to understand the references in pop culture. And I think also the adaptation that we're doing does a really great job of condensing the material, but still asking the same important questions that the original book asked. So also it's going to be really fun and scary for Halloween, but I think the other reasons are